If your Tinkercad simulation won't start, freezes right away, or throws a startup error, don't worry. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the most common causes and show you exactly how to fix them step by step. This is one of those problems that can feel confusing at first, because sometimes the issue is in your wiring, sometimes it's in your code, and sometimes it's simply your browser struggling to run the simulation properly. The good news is that most Tinkercad start errors are very fixable once you know what to look for. If this tutorial helps you out, please hit the like button and subscribe for more simple tech tutorials just like this. It really helps the channel, and it means you won't miss the next quick fix guide. Let's start with the first and most common issue, short circuits. In Tinkercad, a simulation start error can happen when the software detects a dead short in your circuit. That means the positive side of your power supply is connected directly to the negative side without anything in between to control the current. So take a close look at your breadboard and wires. Check whether a wire is accidentally bridging the positive rail straight to the negative rail. Also make sure your components are placed correctly on the breadboard. For example, if both legs of an LED or sensor are plugged into the same vertical column in a way that creates a direct path, Tinkercad may see that as a zero resistance connection and stop the simulation from starting. A simple way to test this is to remove parts of your circuit one by one and try starting the simulation again. If it starts after removing a certain wire or component, you've likely found the problem. Once you identify it, reposition the component or reroute the wire so current has to travel through the correct path, not straight across the power rails. Now let's move on to the second issue, code and logic errors. Even if your wiring looks perfect, your simulation may still fail to start if there's a problem in the code. If you're using Arduino code or code blocks, check for syntax errors first. Look carefully for red highlights in the editor, because even something as small as a missing semicolon can stop the program from compiling. If the code doesn't compile, the simulation can't initialize properly. Also pay close attention to your loops. If you have a while loop or a for loop running without any delay, the simulation may freeze because it is trying to process instructions too fast. In many cases, adding a small delay helps the simulator breathe and continue running normally. So if you've written a loop, make sure it includes a delay where appropriate. Think of it this way, if the microcontroller's brain gets stuck trying to process the first line of code endlessly, the whole circuit can fail before it even begins. Next, check your component ratings and values. This is another area where Tinkercad can run into trouble. If a resistor is accidentally set to 0 ohms or to an extreme value like 1 gigohm, when that doesn't make sense for the circuit, the simulation engine may not know how to solve the electrical behavior correctly. The same goes for power delivery. If you try to power a high draw component like a motor directly from an Arduino pin, that can create an unrealistic load and cause the simulation to fail. In real electronics, you'd use a transistor or an external power source, and in Tinkercad, it's the same idea. The simulator needs realistic values to calculate voltage and current correctly, so always double check your resistor values, your power source, and how much current each part is expected to draw. If something seems electrically impossible, Tinkercad may simply refuse to start the simulation because the math engine can't resolve the circuit. Now let's talk about browser performance and cache, because sometimes the issue isn't your circuit at all. Tinkercad circuits uses heavy JavaScript and webgl in the browser to calculate voltage and current in real time. If your browser's graphics handling is restricted, outdated, or blocked by extensions, the simulation may not launch properly. One of the first things to try is enabling hardware acceleration in your browser settings. Go into your browser settings, search for System, and make sure Use Hardware Acceleration when available is turned on. If that doesn't help, try opening Tinkercad in an incognito or private window. This is a great test because it disables many extensions by default, which means you can quickly see whether an ad blocker, privacy tool, or VPN is interfering with the simulation startup process. Sometimes the browser just needs a cleaner environment to let Tinkercad run correctly. If you still have problems after that, refresh the page, sign out, and sign back in, or clear your browser cache. In many cases, a corrupted session or an overloaded browser profile can prevent the simulation from loading the way it should. So to recap, if your Tinkercad simulation start error appears, first inspect your circuit for short circuits and incorrect breadboard placement. Then check your code for missing semicolons, broken logic, or loops without delays. After that, verify your resistor values, power source, and component ratings so nothing unrealistic is being simulated. And finally, make sure your browser is not the problem by enabling hardware acceleration and testing in an incognito window. If you follow those steps in order, you'll solve most Tinkercad simulation startup errors very quickly. I hope this saved you time and frustration. If it did, please give this video a like, subscribe for more tutorials, and comment below if you want help with a specific Tinkercad error. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.